Good morning, good morning. Let's get right to it. Who's ready to stop judging others? I'm ready to stop judging others. Are you? It is such a difficult task. We are human beings, so I want to say that it is a difficult task, and I commend you if this is something that you are trying to work on, because I'm truly trying to work on not judging other people. So I want to come on here today, and I want to help you see what has been helping me and how I'm starting to look at people through a different lens and what's helping me to not judge others. And there's four ways that I practice on not judging others, because I realize in this walk of life we encounter many different human beings who are going through many different things that many of us cannot understand because we have not been there, or if we have, it's just a different circumstance for us. So are you ready to stop judging others? Because we judge our brothers, our mothers, right? Our parents, our husbands, our friends, our neighbors, our kids. Think about somebody who you judge. Think about somebody who you have been judging for years. It's not an easy thing to stop doing. So I want to let you know that your awareness is your advantage. Your awareness is your advantage. When you start to become aware that judging others just reflects you and some things within you that are not corrected, some things in you which are not healed, some things in you which you do not like because they are not aligned with your soul and your spirit, right? Some things that you struggle with. When you realize that is what's happening when you're judging, you want to become more aware, you want to be different, you want to do different, you want to say different things. And I'm saying this because this is my experience, right? I spent years judging people, plenty of times judging people, and it's one of the hardest things to not do. But I understand that when you follow Christ, you've got to be a work in progress every day. You've got to pray for this, actually, in this area of your life. So I want to share with you what has helped me to not judge people, because there's four things that I really focus on when I'm conversating with somebody, when I'm meeting somebody new, or when someone old is coming into my presence, right? It is just when things just start revolving around me, there are things that I do to judge less, right? And this morning it was a prayer of mine that I would have a heart like Christ. And I actually cried in my prayer because I realized how hard it is to have that, right? How much work it takes to be there. So it was this emotional prayer while I was actually admiring God and thanking him and just in awe of his heart and wanting the same. And I want the same for you because it truly makes the world a better place. And like I said, we are human. We are not perfect. We are not perfect. And it takes work, it takes awareness, it takes time, and it takes growth. So I want to say the first thing that has helped me to not judge people, because it gets tiring after a while, right? It's not something that you want to do. And what I realize is that, sorry, 1 second here. What I realize is that I'm starting to look at people as spiritual beings, right? Spiritual beings in their physical body. That has helped me tremendously as I do it for myself, mirror work every morning. Every morning, and I want to share this with you so that you can begin to do it. And it might feel funny at the beginning because it felt funny for me, but every morning, at least 10 times in the mirror, I affirm, I say, I'm a spiritual being living in this physical body with the mind. I'm a spiritual being living in this physical body with the mind. And I say that 10 times because it reminds me. It reminds me that I'm not this. So I don't want to be judged, right, for my hair or the clothes that I wear, my skin color. I want to be judged, right, for my character. I want people to pick out the good things in me and speak about those things. So I begin to start looking at people as spiritual beings. So what I mean by that is when I look at them, when I meet them, or someone old that comes into my presence, it's not my job talk about how her hair looks. It's not my job to say this guy is this way and I don't know him yet. I sit there and I try to get an awareness and say this person is just like me. They're a spiritual being just like me. And when I prepare myself and when I use that first step, it allows me to realize that that's my brother and my sister, right? And if I judge, it's like judging myself or judging my very own blood brother and sister. So I'm very aware at that moment, and I want to look at them as a spiritual being. When I look at them as a spiritual being, it allows me to knock off the physical things that I would spend my time on judging them of or criticizing them, right? So I want you to think about that when you're sitting with someone and you're thinking about, look at her shoes or her bag or look at his issues, and start to think of yourself, forget about the physical. And if there was no physical, what would you be judging? Think about it. It's so I'm telling you now, it's getting much easier as I start to do that. And when I'm in that space of recognizing that I'm a spiritual being and they're a spiritual being, I start to make two distinctions when we're speaking. I know whether they're spiritually full or empty, right? I know whether they're spiritually full or empty by the conversation. And right away, I know, don't judge. Don't judge. And it's just a reminder and awareness, and that your awareness is your advantage. And this is why I'm sharing this with you. Because if you don't set the intention to be aware and say, okay, let me give this person the benefit of the doubt, or not even, let me just not judge because it's not the right thing to do. I'm working on my heart, right? You sit in this awareness and nobody knows that you're sitting there aware. Nobody knows you're spending 5 minutes becoming aware so that you could be a better listener, so that you could be a better person, so that you could be better company for that person beside you, right? So that's the very first step. The second step I try to remember to not judge people is every time you meet somebody and you're having a conversation with them, I want you to realize that you're having a conversation with them at a certain place in their life. They are in a certain place in their life. So every time you're conversating with somebody, they're either in a happy place, a sad place, a financially good place, stable place, not financially stable place. They're either happily married, they're either divorced, they're either walking in their light and their passion and fulfilling their purpose, or they're not and they're looking for it and they're anxious because they can't find it and they don't know the steps. Always aware when you are talking to somebody, they're in a phase and a stage in their life. Some of it might be obvious to you through their language and when you can tell that they're physically full. Some of it might not be obvious to you because you don't know everyone's pain, struggles, and their lifestyle, what they live with, right? There's always a light side and there's always a dark side, and most people live their life sometimes in the dark, and when they come to the light, I want them to be filled with light and not let their darkness overpower. And sometimes the darkness can overpower with their own negativity and then us judging them because we're not seeing them as a spiritual being. So what happens is we're increasing that anxious and negative energy when in fact we don't want to, right? Because you'll sit there and say, I really don't want the drama, or I really can't take this person, or this is making me feel uncomfortable. This is the moment to be the light. This is the moment to get back into that 5-minute pre-step awareness and say, where is this person in their life right now that they're speaking of this with this emotion? Where are they right now that they feel so strongly about this? Maybe this empowers me. Maybe this makes me feel unsettled talking to this person. But where are they? They are somewhere. And I want you to think about that, because before I started thinking that way, I was judging people, and then later on I was like, oh my gosh, she was going through a divorce, right? Or, oh my gosh, she had an eating disorder. Oh my God, her mother died. Or her teenage son is giving her hell. I started to understand people's stories down the line. And then I had to look back and say, wow, that's crazy. You cannot judge people for where they are in their lives. You cannot judge them for their physical. And I'm saying this because I'm going to give you a quick example of when somebody was judged on TV. Water is life. And so Me and my family, the guys, we were watching a poker game on TV, and there was this guy who had like this funny twitch, right? And he kept doing this with his mouth, and we all know that poker's a game that if you play, it's ongoing for hours, right? You could be there for hours. And we were like, oh my God, that guy is on drugs. You know, maybe he took something to stay up. What's that twitch about? He can't control it. And in the breaks of poker games, people are able to tell their story. Like, I'm so and so, and I come from this hometown, and I started playing poker when I was this age, and I have a family now. And they give a little bit of the background. This guy that had the twitch said he has suffered a stroke. He had a tumor in his brain, and they had to remove it, and he went through some complications, which left him with the twitch in the face. And after I heard his story, me and my family, like I shared it with them because I think that some of them took a bathroom break, and we immediately was like, wow. And we were judging, not knowing. Judging off of physically what we're seeing is until you understand the story behind what you physically see and hear, that the truth is revealed. And that is the most powerful, powerful thing. That was a lesson. It was a lesson. And I gotta say, in that lesson, it was another reminder to not judge. So if you ever happen to come into a lesson like that, and I know you have, because everybody has had that one time when they judged somebody and then got the background story and said, oh, I'm sorry, right? So that happened for me, and plenty of times, right? Like I said, you don't know the walks of life. So don't be so quick to judge them, but to understand that there's always a place. There's always a place. And you don't know in the timeline which place that they're in. So don't forget that. You never know. You might find yourself walking in someone's shoes one day. You might find yourself walking in shoes one day, and I'll tell you right now, you could be on top of the world, you could be doing amazing and good. And that dip may be a lesson for you. That dip may be a callback, a pullback to resolve something and heal something before you think that you can continue moving forward and onward and upward, right? God's journey is always onward and upward. So God has his ways of pulling you in for a second, checking your heart, checking some things if you want to move forward, right? So please be mindful of that. That was number two. And always realizing you can be in somebody else's shoes tomorrow. Tomorrow you could be just like that person that you're judging for whatever circumstance. Number three, what helps me to not judge people is my past. Again, it always goes back to step one, the pre-work. You got to do the pre-work. Once I sit and I do the pre-work, and nobody knows that I'm doing it while I'm talking to them, because it's an inner work. It's an inner work that I do for myself, and I encourage you to do it too, right? Because you're not going to sit there and tell the people that you're conversating with, like, hey, let me get my thoughts right, let me clean my heart, let me check myself before we keep conversating so I don't judge you, right? So you do it within. You do it within, and you, like, don't judge, listen, you do all this pre-work, and I love it. So on number three, when I'm doing the pre-work, number three is my past. So don't have a beautiful, glamorous past, right? Very ugly things in my past. A lot of things that I've done that, oh my God. I mean, if I wasn't healed now, I look back and judge all day, right? And I'm sure I have been judged the same way I've judged others, because it's just a cycle. So when I meet somebody new or someone else comes from my past, or they're in my presence, and I think about my past. I think about my past, and I say, let me check myself. Why am I better? Oh, I'm not. Wait, did I do something like that before? Yes, I did. Um, yeah, how did you feel when you were judged for? Yeah, not good. It was one of those things that, gosh, it was printed on me, and people saw me. They saw that thing that I was judged for, right? So I try very hard, and I'm human. Try very hard to remember that, to remember my past, and always remember, like I tell you, there's timelines. There's timelines that people are living on, and my past is somebody's present today, right? And my present is somebody's past, somebody else's past. So when I think about that, I go, shit, I was there before. When I listen to that was my past, I was there before. I was stressed out, or I was an alcoholic, or I was broke, or whatever the situation is. I try to resonate and see where I was on that timeline. And I'm like, okay, perfect time to gather myself and do the best that I can as a human being, because we're human beings and we're not perfect, right? Just our spiritual DNA is perfect, but our physical, this reality, the things that we've been introduced to, the habits that we have taken on, and the, everything is, it's not perfect. It's not perfect. So I think about my past and I'm able to release and let go and say, okay, I remember when I talked people's head off about my relationship, or when I did this. Four. The fourth thing that helps me to not judge people. So we are on our fourth step already. The fourth one is my kids. Think about a time when you judge somebody or somebody else's kids and your kids turn around and they do some shit. Or your kids turn around and they're that human being that you were judging somebody else for being. They're that human being that you said so strongly that you would never be and that you would never raise anyone to be like that, right? You have these convictions. But even though they're your children, there is no control. There is prayer, there's God, there's guidance, right? There's boundaries, there's all these things. But there's no control of how others think, of how others act, right? You can't control these things, how others feel. So I think about my kids and I say, my kids are going to make mistakes. They're going to do things that I've done or that other human beings are doing right now. So I cannot judge. I cannot judge someone else for something because I have a son that will be a man. I have a daughter that will be a woman. And they will go through those timelines and they will go through circumstance situations and things that other people are going through that I'm judging them for. And when they go through those things, as a mother, I'm there to guide them, to listen to them, to pray for them. I need to know how to do that for other people that are going through things too. And that's the realest shit that I've ever felt and that I've ever thought that has hit my mental, right? And it has a lot to do with, like I said, the precept with awareness and also just seeking God on this journey. And I want to read you something from Matthew 6 again. And I'm going to tell you something because some people may look at the word of God and feel some type of way and think you got to be in some type of group or religion or... Listen, I follow laws and I follow God, and there's only one God. There's only one God, no matter how we serve him and which religion, which book we choose to pick up. So in Matthew 7:12, it says, in everything, therefore treat people the same way you want them to treat you. For this is the law and the prophets. And the prophets is someone who's inspired, it's a leader, it's a teacher who speaks for God, who speaks the word of God, who walks around and spread these spirits, and prays for others and tries not to judge and always coming from the heart. So that's number 12. Verse 13 is enter through the narrow gate, for the gate is wide and the way is broad that leads to destruction, and there are many who enter through it. So it's easy to judge. It's easy. That's so broad. That gate is so open of judgment. It's easy. You fit right in there. The gate is wide. It's wide, but it leads to destruction. And it's easy to fit in that gate because it's wide, right? And there's a lot of influence there. It's easy to judge. Now, verse 14. For the gate is small and the way is narrow that leads to life, and there are few who find it. So I say that to say that where there is life, the gate is narrow, and there's few who find it. There are few who make it through that gate. Why? Because they're cleansing their heart. They're judging less. They're becoming aware. It's a whole lot to work to go into that narrow gate. It's not a piece of cake. It is a work that the human being has to do, and every human being needs to do this work to try and get in that narrow gate because it leads to life. The wide one leads to destruction, and it's why it's open and it's broad, and you can come in whenever you want. No work has to be done, right? Just come in and keep destructing. Where the narrow gate, to get in there, you gotta be... It's like to get in this gate, right? There can't be rows. It's like you got to walk in a line, in that line of alignment. It's a narrow path. It's not 10 10 different lanes, like for judging, right? So I read that verse to you, even if you don't seek God and look for the word. I encourage you to, but I read that to you because it's law. It is law, and these things that we are becoming aware of now is because we are seeking God. So because I'm seeking God, I'm becoming aware of law, of the law and the word. And the word says, treat others the way you want to be treated. Do not judge others if you do not want to be judged. So I share this with you today because I want to start your Monday off right. And listen to me, you could be going to work right now. You know you got that somebody. Right? You could be getting on public transportation right now. You know there's just plenty of people there. There's just that somebody that you are going to feel an urge to judge. Their shoes, their hat, their voice, their laugh, the way they hold their purse, their phone, the way they talk, the way they walk, the way they eat in their sandwich on the bus. You just find, whether that's at work, whether that's at home, your kids, your husband, you will find, because the gate is narrow, and you will judge because we are human. So it is your job to think about the narrow gate, to think about the wide gate, think about the wide leading to destruction, the narrow leading to life. Which one do you want to walk through? Right? What side do you want to be on? What kind of person do you want to be? And like I said, it's work. You're not going to get up today and say, I don't want to judge nobody, and by tomorrow you ain't judge one person, you did well. It happens, but it's your awareness is your advantage. You got to be aware that you're doing it. And once you're aware, I'm going to tell you what happens. And I find this, and I'm going to leave you with this. I find that this has really been happening for me. I find that I'm able to conversate with many different people. Talk about whatever they want to talk about, right? Because I feel, like I said at the first step, whether they're spiritually full or spiritually empty. And when I can pick that up, if they're spiritually empty, it's my job, I feel, to sit there and to listen and to give a good word, or a word of encouragement, right? Or to at least listen. This person may not have had anybody to talk to, or this person may have had millions of people to talk to about the situation, but not a sound mind and sound heart who sat back and listened without judging their circumstance or without giving them negative feedback. So it is your chance in that moment to say, who do I want to be? What side do I want to be on? Who am I following? And then ask yourself, when you're on the other side of judging, why am I judging this person? Right? And I'm going to tell you right now, it's not easy. I've been doing this work for months. I could say it's going on a year, and every day gets better, every day gets stronger. But I realized today when I prayed that I cried when I said, Christ, I want a heart like yours. Because in that moment, I realized this is tough shit. Like, I'm crying for it. That means it's hard. It's a lot of work, but I want it. And when I get it, I want to be able to spread the word and to spread how I'm doing it and what works for me. So these 4 steps I shared with you, because I truly believe that it works in your own way. But you can take it as a framework and use it for yourself in your situation, your circumstance. Because maybe you're with somebody that you judge. Maybe you live next to somebody that you judge. Maybe there are some things that people around you do, say, think, and act that you don't like. But I always remember that maybe that's something within me that I have not healed yet. Because I'm starting to know now, when I'm judging others, I'm judging myself. So really try to work on that. It's not easy, but it's the best thing. And I want to tell you that the best apology, you don't have to go around apologizing to everybody that you judged in your life, right? You can, in your heart, you can bless them and say God loves you, God cares for you, bless them. But the best apology is changed behavior, right? You can't change the fact that you judged people, but you can work on it for the next people that you meet, for the next conversations that you have. You can turn those conversations around into something else. Not easy, right? Not easy. But I hope that this has blessed you today. And if it has, leave a comment, thumbs up, share it, engage with me. I love to know when there was a time that you judged somebody. Maybe you are still judging someone. Is this something that you're still working on? And what's working for you? What's helping you to not judge others? What's helping you? Share it with us, because those that read the thread here will definitely take your advice into consideration, will take it into their own, and sit down and become aware of how they can take so many different people's perspectives and advice and strategies and frameworks and build their own. Because I truly believe that when we all understand that we all have shit to deal with, or that we all have a past, or that we're all truly the same, maybe not here in this physical world, right? But we truly are, because we're all God's children. This could be a better place for all of us to live in. And we'll never have to go somewhere and say, I hate it here, or I can't stand this person. You'll always feel like wherever you go, you're good. You are the light. So you dispel the darkness with your light, because you became consciously aware. You knew what your advantage was. So I want to thank you. I want to thank you for being on here this morning. Have an amazing, amazing morning. Love you. And remember, every time you're going to judge somebody, just say, damn, that means I'm judging myself. And you'll check yourself. Have an amazing day. I love you. Peace, love, blessings, and light.